Chuck Cook I'm CEO of Responsive Education Solutions. I'm honored to announce that Responsive Ed, in collaboration with the Autism Community Network, Jesse here is going to speak in a few minutes, recently opened a charter school focused on serving children with autism. It's called the Foundation School for Autism, and it's tuition-free. It's a public charter school located in San Antonio, Texas. The Foundation School is the only public charter school for children with autism in Texas, and it's one of only a handful in the United States. The fundamental desire and ability to open a school for children with autism is at the core of our organization. For over 10 years, Responsive Ed has focused on building schools that serve the unique needs of the community. As an organization, we believe that every student is unique and no children learn the same way. However, every student can learn when given a chance. Time and time again, Responsive Ed has seen the value of building strong community and school partnerships, like the one we have with ACN today. It truly makes a difference in the lives of children all across the state. Responsive Ed created the Foundation School to positively impact the lives of parents and their children with autism. We officially opened the school in August with 3 classrooms for children. This Foundation School was created to serve students from pre-K and includes kindergarten this year. Today, 21 children with autism spectrum disorders are being given the opportunity to receive intensive early intervention therapy. However, the need is great. Nearly 30,000 Texas students in the state of Texas are classified as autistic, according to TEA data. Research shows that if a child receives early intervention, these therapies, when they're appropriate and intensive, before the age of 6, the chance of helping these students become self-supporting almost doubles. The Foundation School has the resources and the staff to provide the intensive programs, the support services needed for children with autism to help them develop social, communication, and academic skills. Working together, Responsive Ed and the Autism Community Network are providing the best education possible for young children with autism in a public school setting. Responsive Ed provides the infrastructure and the teachers for the school. The Autism Community Network provides support and specialized training for Responsive Ed staff at the school, as well as the supplemental therapies such as speech therapy, occupational therapy, and music therapy. The Foundation School provides parents of children with autism an alternative to expensive private schools. We are a tuition-free public school that can provide a small learning environment and lots of individualized attention. I believe the creation of the Foundation School represents an important first step in addressing the needs of this state that struggles with a 400% increase in autism diagnosis. Nobody understands this need more than Senator Shapiro, Senator Vanderputte, and Senator Patrick. Thank you guys. All of these senators have tirelessly been advocates on the behalf of children in Texas. My hope is that the Foundation School will provide a starting point for successful treatment and education of children with autism. Now, with more specifics on the school, I'm honored to introduce my friend, Jesse Franco, the Executive Director of the Autism Community Network.
Thank you. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Autism Community Network, or ACN, and how we came to be. But first, let me set the context. We're in this room today because autism has reached epidemic levels. 1 in 110 children born will be diagnosed with autism. What you may not know is that 3 out of 4 children diagnosed with autism are boys. So for boys, the statistic is even more alarming. 1 out of 70 boys born today will be diagnosed with autism. It was against this backdrop that a group of San Antonio private and corporate foundations got together to fund the startup of Autism Community Network. And in March 2009, we opened our doors in order to fill the growing gaps in autism services, especially with early diagnosis and provider training. And of course, we're very proud to be collaborating with Responsive Ed with the Foundation School for Autism. So how did this come to be? In December 2009, the news came that one of San Antonio's largest autism provider, Treehouse Pediatric Center, had unexpectedly closed, literally overnight. And the news was a shock to us, but it was a crisis for the 30 families that were attending the private school at Treehouse. So ACN stepped forward to serve the displaced children for the remainder of the school year. And for the first several months, ACN's board and staff worked on the problem, how are we going to serve these children long term? There's a huge need there. We had strategic planning sessions, we toured facilities, we met with funders, we created plans and budgets, but they just didn't fall into place. But one day, the prospects changed. Through our board vice president, Shannon Gunn, we got a call from Responsive Ed. And to make a very long story short, here we are today. A foundation school for autism classroom is unique because it has to be. Autism spectrum disorders includes a wide range of challenging behaviors, and in the classroom this can mean disruptive outbursts, tantrums, non-compliance, a child's inability to participate in a group activity. So in order for learning to take place, there has to be extremely well-trained, experienced teachers who know autism. So who does the Foundation School for Autism serve? Autism knows no boundaries. Rich or poor, white collar or blue collar, families face huge financial burdens when confronted with autism. The latest estimate I've seen came from the Harvard Business School, which calculated a lifetime cost at $3.2 million per child. So you can imagine that for low to moderate income families, the fact that they now have a public school at no cost is an immense relief. What's fantastic about the Foundation School for Autism is that every child, despite their parents' income, receives a high-quality, evidence-based autism intervention and education. Each child has an individual plan that's developed by all of the therapists together. They improve key areas such as verbal behavior, play, learning readiness, social communication, adaptive skills, independent work, classroom skills, and of course, academics. At its heart, the thing that makes the Foundation School for Autism is that every aspect of the program is centered on autism. We address the question, despite autism, despite the disability, how can we maximize the potential of this child? Responsive Ed and ACN share this goal to maximize the potential of children entrusted to us. I'd like to close by sharing a few parent comments that illustrated how this school is already making a difference. I can now speak with my child, and he says, "Love you," and hugs me. None of this would have happened without you. We can't believe how much progress our son has made in 1 month. Life at home completely changed now that my husband can communicate with our son. And finally, I want to shout out to the world that this school exists.
Senator Spear.
Well, thank you, Chuck. And I just want to say that I'm very proud to stand here with these fine men and women who are so committed to the autistic children of the state of Texas. Chuck, you have taken a leap of faith. The idea that we have been talking about in our Senate Education Committee for about 4 years, I guess, is now coming to fruition. And I thank you, we thank you for taking this leap of faith, and we want to help you as best we can. This is a unique population, as you have heard. I couldn't do it any better than what you've already heard. We are meeting the needs of a student population that oftentimes is going unheard and certainly unanswered. These charter schools dedicate themselves to the students and the population that sometimes have more difficulty at school. It's more than just an education to them. It's a life and life skills that they are either lacking or cannot communicate. And so with them, the most important element is to be in a group setting where people understand their needs on a moment-to-moment basis. The word that I like to use with this new concept is collaboration. What I think is going to make this school, and hopefully many others to follow, successful, is going to be collaboration. What you have just heard about ACN is one piece of the collaboration. We are very fortunate in the state of Texas. We already have at least 5 agencies, and sometimes even more, who currently have programs for our autistic children. These are but a few of the collaborations that can and will take place with this wonderful new program. I'm absolutely convinced that right now universities all over the state of Texas, providers, practitioners, all across this state are working in silos and doing a fabulous job. But now we need those silos to come together. Now we need a collaboration and a partnership. And with these agencies and these programs, and with this new concept of a charter school for special needs children, I am absolutely convinced that this will be a success. Thank you, and I appreciate being asked to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you to Chuck and Responsive Ed and to Jesse and the Autism Community Network. For me, it's very, very personal. Not only is this in the legislative district that I represent in San Antonio, but I had very close ties to the treehouse. My oldest daughter, our oldest daughter, Nicole, received a degree in music therapy and was able to be on staff at the treehouse before she went into med school. But it was the type of the work that they did there, and it is intensive. It does cost a tremendous amount because of the services that are necessary. But the feeling of fulfillment and the positive outcomes that my daughter experienced as the music therapist, we're very proud of this effort. We're hoping that it will be very successful. We know that there are still challenges, but that's what collaboration is all about. It's taking the resources from both the government entities and what I like to call connecting the dots. What you see here is the .org. Not the connecting the dots that we all had when we were little, and maybe we had a little clown face, but the dots. The .org with the Autism Community Network and the many nonprofits that have been supporting parents with autistic children. And then Responsive Ed's the .edu. That's a great part of connecting the dots. What I think you see from the leadership that has been given from Senator Shapiro, and certainly the positive drive from Senator Patrick and our state agencies, is you see the .gov. So you've got the .org, the .edu, and the .gov. Now what we hope is that we will all work together so that the children can conquer the last dot, and that's the .com. We want them to go through the educational system so that then they can go out into the business world, so they can be very successful. I'm very proud of this effort, and we look forward to all of our children being able to connect the dots.
Hi, my name is Senator Patrick, and I was listening to the chairman, listening to Senator Vanderputte, and to Chuck. And Chuck, thank you for taking this leap of faith. I come from the perspective of having a wife who taught for 16 years and understanding these issues. Having an employee who had an autistic daughter, and I saw how she struggled and their family struggled until she was put in a private school, but it was so expensive for them. I've served on the board for 22 years of a special needs charity called Be an Angel in Houston. And I was knee-deep in this legislation last time with my two colleagues and others. And I'll never forget, on the last day of session when bills could be voted at midnight, when Senator Vanderputte and Senator Shapiro, arm in arm, the three of us walked over to the House floor to try to get 1 or 2 votes so that we could establish charter schools, more charter schools for students with special needs, and we also focused on students with autism. And so Senator Vanderputte, Senator Shapiro, and myself, we literally worked down to the last second. And I hope in this session, to expand on the great work that Chuck is now doing, we can expand our charter schools, especially for special needs students, and especially for students with autism. We cannot wait, and the families cannot wait, and the students cannot wait, because the majority of students with autism, we can see their lives change meaningfully, and those families change if we just give them the help they need. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Senators. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate your time. Now I'd like to introduce a few parents that have their children. It's really the reason we're here is the parents and the needs of their children.